What's up, y'all? I need to make a quick video addressing some concerns about the high THCa explanation video that I did. Before I get started, I'm driving. I'm using my cell phone's front camera and I do not have a microphone, so the audio and video might not be as good as usual. When I posted that video, I knew that there might be a few people that wouldn't necessarily like it, but I did not think that it was going to be as controversial as it did. And the main reason that it's controversial is because a lot of people are just not comprehending why I post that video. They're misconstruing the message behind it. No part of me made that to come out against type 1 flower. No part of me made that because I feel like type 1 flower is going to threaten type 3 flower. And I certainly didn't make that to cause anybody any trouble legally or anything. That's why I said in that video, I'm not going to even, not only am I not going to list specific vendors, but I'm not even going to list specific strains. You know, some of the more popular strains that have been dropped recently. With that being said, though, majority of the feedback I got from that video, from the community and from the industry, the vast majority of the feedback I got was positive. Okay. Contrary to what your personal belief might be, a lot of people did not understand that THCa turns into Delta 9. So THCa is, if you're going to vape or smoke it, you might as well just see that as Delta 9 THC. And a lot of people did not know that that is what was being sold. And the purpose of me making that video was to clear that up. So like I said, a lot of people were thankful for that. A lot of people, some people even messaged me and said they accidentally bought that. They didn't realize it. You know, they thought THCa was another one of these alternative cannabinoids or whatever. And yes, obviously, if you're going to buy something and put it in your body, that is your discretion and it's your responsibility to know what that is. However, the hemp industry, for the most part, has always been about CBD dominant and CBG dominant, and to some extent alternative cannabinoids and stuff. But most people understand that stuff like Delta 8 and HHC and things like that have more psychoactive effects, and people just stay away from that. But you know, the issue was that they were selling this type 1 flower and calling it hemp flower. And that is why I made the video, because the whole sales tactic, the whole marketing behind that and everything is very misleading to the average consumer. And if you are a person that benefits from type 1 flower and you are able to get type 1 flower from these vendors, then I'm happy for you. Honestly, I'm happy for you. I'm 100% pro cannabis, and I said this in the last video. I'm 100% pro cannabis. I think it should be legalized. I think it should be easier to get than cigarettes or alcohol. And I'm honestly like that with most drugs besides fentanyl. And I say fentanyl just because, unfortunately, you can't trust people to do it, even in a regulated and a restricted way. Something that is that potent and that potentially dangerous, you can't trust people to not take themselves out using that. But I mean, any other drug, I'm not pro drug, okay, but I'm anti prohibition. I am pro cannabis, but when it comes to other drugs, harder drugs, you know, other things besides cannabis, I'm not for people using those. But I'm anti-prohibition, because what prohibition causes is a crime. Prohibition only causes a black market, and prohibition has wasted trillions of American taxpayer dollars fighting a drug war that can never be won and never will be won, because people are going to do what they want to do, and they're going to get it. And if we had regulated, safe access to things like that, drug gangs and cartels and a lot of terrible stuff wouldn't exist. I'm not making this follow-up video as damage control or anything like that, because I haven't seen any type of fallout. I actually got a bump in subscribers since I posted that video or anything. It didn't hurt my channel at all. But I want to clear some things up. That's why I'm making this. One thing too, man, some of y'all from the cult of the Franklin, man, y'all are extremely disrespectful and just extremely hostile, not only towards me, but towards other people that just use regular hemp type 3 flower. I mean, to the point of threatening violence online to myself and other people. It's ridiculous. That is not the way. That's not the spirit of the cannabis community. That's the spirit of a black market. Okay, so if you guys are so adamant that what you're doing is legal, and you know, you just however you feel about that, you shouldn't be so pissed off about anything regarding it. Because let me tell you what, my video is not going to make any difference with drug enforcement or legislation or anything. And if you think that it is, if you think that the DEA waited for me to post that video to make a move, then I'm sorry, you're very mistaken. They have billions, millions of dollars of money invested into lawyers, litigators, investigators, auditors, all these types of things. If they're investigating these companies, they were already doing it. My video it's not going to cause anything to happen. That video might get a few thousand views over the course of a year or something. Trust me, there are more, that type 1 flower, that THCa that I spoke about, there are other reviewers out here that are getting paid on a weekly or daily basis to go post videos and talk about how high this flower is getting them and how you should go cop that and everything, just openly putting it out there to the world. I didn't do that. I didn't even show any flower. I was going to. I got some pictures of it from some of my followers, but I'm like, I'm not even going to put that out there at all. But there's people out here showcasing it on video, smoking it, getting faded, talking about company names, where to get it, how to buy it, the best place to buy it, you know, and I don't see any outrage towards those people, because if anything, those are the people that are putting it out there in a very dangerous way, as far as impacting the chances of it getting taken away. So you guys have a lot of misguided, misdirected anger and hate and everything. It's almost like, I don't know. I didn't come on here to talk negative about anybody or anything, because there's too much negativity brought from outside when I post that last video. I don't want there to be any friction between anybody in the cannabis community. Whether you use 32% THC and you like to be high all day, or if you're like me and you use type 3 flower and anything more than that is too spicy. There should be no friction between those two camps, okay? But the cult of the Franklin, the way that everything is going down over there and everything, is just it's kind of crazy, because you guys know that you could call it hemp and everything, you could say what you want to say to make yourselves feel better about it, but at the end of the day, like many of you have even told me, you know what you're buying, you know what it is. You were just pissed off that I went out there and said what it is openly. But that's stupid, because these companies are going in the first place and emailing everybody, putting it online. This isn't the dark web or anything. This is, you could Google these companies and find it. So if you think that the government or law enforcement or whatever wasn't already hip to this before, then I don't know what to tell you. Bless your heart. Because believe me, if they want to do something about it, they didn't need my video to make that decision. I didn't blow anything up. I didn't narc anybody out. I didn't put any type of exposure on anything that wasn't already there. Like I said, these companies are putting plenty of exposure on it themselves. They are paying people to go on YouTube and talk about how high it gets them and everything. So my video simply explaining to people what it is and how THCa works and everything, your anger is misplaced. Don't be mad at me, because all I did was try to come and educate the end user, the consumer. Also, something I want to clear up too is that I'm not against high tea. I don't want to have to keep saying I'm not against this, I'm not against that. The only thing I'm against in this industry is people the disty boys, who go and spray flower with distillate. Okay, the people that are selling the Delta 8 sprayed flower, the THCO sprayed flower, the HHC sprayed flower. That's the only people I'm against, and the only reason I'm against that is because they are creating an unsafe product for human consumption. Okay, that is carcinogenic, it is toxic to you. You cannot be inhaling those solvents that they use to spray that flower. And don't come in my comments talking about, oh well, they cold infuse it or whatever, blah blah blah. Like, 3 companies do that. The vast 99.9% of companies spray their flowers. So we'll just leave that at that. But there needs to be a distinction. Okay, you can't type 1 hemp flower. Type 1 hemp is an oxymoron. That's impossible. Because hemp is very little THC. It's cannabis with a Delta 9 THC percentage of 0.3% or lower. So you can't have type 1 hemp. What you can have is type 2 hemp that has higher THCa. Stuff that is still CBD dominant or is maybe 1-to-1, but still hemp genetics that there is phenos of that produce more THC, you know, from the strains that they were converted from back in the day and everything. They still carry those genes and still express that. That's different. And believe me, in a court of law, if anybody were to be prosecuted or charged with any of this, it's going to be treated very differently. Somebody who's selling some spicy hemp flower, an actual hemp strain, an industrial hemp strain, they either intentionally or unintentionally produced more THC than usual. There's a vast difference between that and going and sourcing or growing just straight up marijuana and labeling it as hemp. So, but again, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. All I'm against is the confusion and the confusion that is being caused by these companies selling it and trying to call it as hemp so that they can get away with it. That's the only thing that I'm against. But other than that, I'm 100% pro cannabis, and I'm not against the cult of the Franklin people or anything. I just think there needs to be more transparency, and if this was truly as legit and legal as people make it seem that they are confident that it is, then there would not be so much hostility and animosity towards other groups or anybody publicly calling it out. I don't even want to say calling it out. I never called anything out, but just educating the consumer. This is what it is. You might like it. If that's what you like, go buy it. But if you are sensitive to THC or that's not what you're interested in, then stay away from that. Because, you know, there are popular type 3 hemp vendors that are selling it right alongside their hemp. And sure, there might be some disclaimers and everything, but I'm just looking out for everybody. Obviously, like I said, what you buy and what you put in your body is your own responsibility and your own discretion. But I just want to look out for everybody. So if you see that in your email, you see that on the website, you already know what it is. There's no confusion. There's no curiosity there. You know exactly what it is. And if you want that, that's cool. But if you don't want that, you know to stay away from it. And that's all that it is. So I really need the animosity and I really need the hatred to stop from that very small group of people that are acting really hostile towards this. My video is not going to change anything. Like I said, even companies that I don't like, I sincerely hope that nobody is ever put in jail for cannabis or drugs in general. It's a waste of taxpayer money. That is the failed drug war persisting, and I want to see that end for a lot of reasons. But this video has a lot of pauses and breaks in it. Like I said, I'm driving it. I'm driving right now. I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to upload it directly off of my phone. So like I said, if the quality's crappy or whatever, sorry. I just really needed to clear that up. And I honestly, I was just, like I said, most of the feedback and everything I got from that was positive. But I needed to address some of the concerns that people had. And not all of it was hostility. Some of it was confusion. Some people thought I made that video talking about stuff that was 2% THCa. No, that's not what my video was about. My video was not about your Bordeaux or whatever. My video was about companies who are going and growing or sourcing type 1 flower that is completely unrelated to hemp and selling it as hemp. And that is my only issue. And my issue isn't even them selling it or people using it. Good for you, good for them. I am glad that people have access, especially for medicinal reasons. My only issue is selling type 1 flower as hemp. That's it. It's causing a rift in the industry and in the community. But I'm gonna end the video right here, though, y'all. Thank you for all the support, everybody. I have some of the greatest subscribers, some of the greatest followers. I don't like saying fans because I'm not a celebrity or anything, but supporters. I will label you as that. Supporters and connoisseurs. Some of the greatest supporters anybody could ever ask for. A lot of y'all come back, comment, watch every video. You have joined my Patreon. You buy the merch. Everything. You give me lots of love, lots of support, and I'm doing this for y'all. Okay, I'm doing this for y'all. I'm not an industry plant or somebody literally commented on somewhere on Reddit or someone called me a big hemp shill. I'm out here lobbying for big hemp. What is big hemp? Seriously, there is no big corporate Fortune 500 companies out here in my inbox directing me or incentivizing me to make videos about this. The hemp industry is basically pretty much all small family-owned businesses or private, single owner entities. There's no big hemp out here. There's no big powerful figure or anything behind me persuading me or just that's ridiculous. That's a conspiracy theory if I ever heard one. Listen, I love all y'all, and again, I thank you for the support, and I don't want to see any hostility. I want the hemp flowers community and the cult of the Franklin community. There needs to be no rift. There needs to be no friction. Everybody needs to get along. We need to enjoy this flower, and the only thing everybody should be pushing for together is just better quality flower, better prices. Okay, y'all over there in the cult of the Franklin, you are getting price gouged like a mofo. That's what you should be mad about. Paying like 200 plus for a zip, of some flower that is purchased and can be found for way cheap. That's what you should be pissed about. Like I said in the other video, these companies are price gouging. They're charging insane prices for an eighth of some of this stuff. But anyways, I just want everybody to get along, and I don't want to be the cause of any sort of negativity or problems or anything. So I am sorry if you misconstrued the meaning and the intent of my original video. I just wanted to clear that up. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of your night if you're watching this when I upload it. And stay tuned for the next video. The next upload should be regular scheduled programming, okay? Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you at that next video. Peace.